the people on the ground are doing the best they can in every challenging circumstances. We do need some help from the federal government. They have to get together, ideally with the governor. The governor needs to, he's been trying to get them, and I'm sure they're going to come through. But he's been calling the president, hasn't been able to get him.
Folks, as you know, many parts of this country are currently reeling from what was in many ways a historic disaster as a result of Hurricane Helene. And so obviously on this channel, our thoughts, prayers, and support are with the people of North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, everywhere affected. But with that said, I think it is worth noting the federal government's response to all of this, because it has been nothing short of mind-boggling. You currently have a Katrina-level disaster in many parts of this country. I think we have at the current moment 100 people confirmed dead, 600 are missing, total catastrophe. And take a look at what Kamala Harris is busy doing instead of trying to figure out how to help these people.
One of my guilty pleasures, especially when I'm on the road, are my Doritos.
Oh, what flavor?
Nacho. Old school, original.
OG.
Come on.
Yeah. OG.
Come on.
Red bag.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
Red bag.
That's exactly. Got to have a napkin nearby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not even playing that as like a tongue-in-cheek joke. That is genuinely from a podcast that released today. While parts of the entire country are underwater, literally, that is what Kamala Harris is busy doing. Now, you may be wondering, is she going to go visit with FEMA? Is she going to go actually see the disaster area? The answer is no. At the current moment, she's actually busy traveling to California for a fundraiser with San Francisco millionaires, so that tells you a lot. But to kind of save face, check this out. While, again, the federal government is essentially absent in this entire situation, I saw in Asheville, North Carolina, it looks like a local Waffle House is doing a better job of disaster relief than the Biden administration. She posted this photo where she says, "I was just briefed by FEMA on the latest developments. You know, we discussed our administration and all the stuff. But take a look. You can't even make this up." At the photograph that she posted where she is allegedly traveling and on the phone with FEMA discussing disaster response. Okay. Do you notice anything off about this picture? Yeah, so she has her phone on the table, supposedly on speakerphone, we would assume, but she has earbuds in, but the earbuds are not plugged into the phone. So in other words, the photo that she posted trying to claim, oh, look, we're busy with disaster relief. Never fear. The Biden-Harris administration is busy making sure everyone is okay. She literally posted a picture of her taking a fake phone call. No, this is real. You cannot make this up. Check this out. This was Donald Trump's response. He says, another fake and staged photo from someone who has no clue what she is doing. You have to plug the cord into the phone for it to work. Biden and Harris abandoned Americans in Afghanistan. They sacrificed Americans to an open border, and now they have left Americans to drown in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and elsewhere in the South. Under this administration, Americans have always come last because we have leaders who have no idea how to lead. And looking at this photo, I really cannot say that that tweet is inaccurate. This is literally the East Palestine situation all over again, where we have a disaster situation in a part of this country, which, by the way, probably, I'm not going to say there's a connection, but hey, you know, people would point this out. It's probably demographically full of a lot of Republican voters. And this is the federal government's response, which is essentially to be absent and be doing absolutely nothing. And folks, the story here gets much, much worse. It doesn't just end with stupid photos of fake staged phone calls. Take a listen to what Biden recently had to say about the federal government providing disaster relief.
Yes, it's tragic. Matter of fact, we're trying to get the exact number. My FEMA advisor is on the ground in Florida right now. There's a distinction between the numbers that FEMA's used and the ones that are used by the locals. So it really is amazing. You saw the photographs. It's stunning.
It's unbelievable. That it really is. Such a wide area.
And we've given them all everything that we have. We're on the ground ahead of time. So we're working hard.
Are there any more resources the federal government could be giving them?
No, we have pre-planned a significant amount of it, even though they didn't ask for it yet. hadn't asked for it yet.
Folks, we're dedicated on this channel to giving you all of the breaking news coverage and the truth that we can. So if you enjoy the content and you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below to help support our work. But with that said, Joe Biden apparently just went out and said that he's given all of the disaster relief to North Carolina and all the areas that they possibly can. Now, you look at the situation in the ground and you say, well, where the heck is the relief? Right? They're totally dropping the ball. They are totally absent on this. And apparently the federal government has no more resources to give. Let me ask you a question. Have they ever said that about these other things? Right? When it comes to providing shelter for illegal immigrants or giving money to Ukraine or all these foreign countries, do they ever run out of money? Do they ever run out of resources? But the tone deafness of Joe Biden, he's going out there and saying, nope, we've given everything we can. They don't need anything else. I mean, yeah, that is extremely questionable. Okay, to say the least. But the story actually does get even worse here because check this out. Apparently on Saturday, the Biden administration, you can see here from this press release, deployed more than 700 soldiers from the Tennessee National Guard to the Middle East. Now, let me ask a question. Okay, you see what's happening in Tennessee right now. That is one of the hardest hit states. Don't you think possibly with the situation there, Tennessee and the people there or across the border in North Carolina could use, I don't know, 700 National Guard soldiers? Well, the obvious answer there is yes, but instead this administration is busy deploying them to the Middle East, which once again has to make me ask the question, who are they serving? I mean, what country is really being served by our military, by our administration, by the people in charge? It's just an absolute disgrace. So you compound that all. It's like, first of all, they won't visit the disaster area. They're downplaying it. They're acting like it's not real. Biden won't go there. Kamala Harris on election year, which makes it even more baffling here because even if she's going to be entirely selfish about this, okay, North Carolina is a swing state. Georgia is a swing state. You are dropping the ball here. It's just not a good look. So that's what for me just makes this especially baffling is just the fact that even politically speaking, it's not a good look for them. But you have then, again, Biden and Harris won't visit the area. Kamala Harris, when she pretends like she's busy working on this, she posts a picture of her taking a fake phone call. And then Biden busy saying, oh, we've given everything we can. Meanwhile, he's deploying the Tennessee National Guard, not to Tennessee, but to the Middle East. Totally failure of a response here. But in contrast, you have Donald Trump, who went out today and said, we are now heading to Valdosta, Georgia, in order to pay my respects and bring lots of relief material, including fuel, equipment, water, and other things to the state. Many politicians and law enforcement will be there. They're working very hard. I was also going to stop in North Carolina, which has been hit really hard. I have a lot of supplies ready for them, but access and communication is now restricted, and we want to make sure that local emergency management is able to focus on helping the people most affected and not being concerned with me. I'll be there shortly, but don't like the reports that I'm getting about the federal government and Democrat governor going out of their way to not help people in Republican areas, MAGA. And so in other words, to make a long story short here, where the federal government is not really doing anything, Trump is showing up to these areas and saying, okay, I will use my own personal resources to provide disaster relief. And once again, between him and that one Waffle House in North Carolina, it looks like a lot of private entities are doing much more. And during his visit to Valdosta today, Trump made a further announcement that he will be partnering with Elon Musk to provide Starlink to communities across the Southeast hit by the hurricane. So again, you know, the private sector here by conservative-leaning people apparently is doing a lot more than the federal government even has.
Homes, hospitals, highways, and cars have been plunged underwater. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into lakes. Nobody's seen anything like it. And to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit, we were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to, I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that. And so we're working on that, getting them hooked up. They asked me whether or not that would be possible. And we're going to try and get the Starlink in there as soon as possible because they have no communication. And throughout the region, our hearts are with you, and we are going to be with you as long as you need. It's called an hour of need. You're in our prayers. And we pray to God, and throughout this long weeks, the long weeks that lay ahead, you're going to have a lot of work, but the end result is it's going to be good. We just wish so many people weren't so badly hurt, and in many cases, sadly, no longer with us.
So, in other words, you have a man who is not the sitting president being more presidential and doing more of that duty than the sitting president and his vice president are at all whatsoever.
Being responsive, the federal government is not being responsive. They're having a very hard time getting the president on the phone. He won't get on, and of course the vice president, she's out someplace campaigning, looking for money. So they have to be focused over here. It's too big. This is a really bad one. And the governor's doing a good job, but he's having a hard time getting the president on the phone. They're being very non-responsive.
So, with that said, folks, let's just really hope that we get real leadership back in the federal government soon, because this is not one thing. This is a repeated trend. You have Hurricane Helene, obviously, but you also have East Palestine, some other cases where they just totally drop the ball. And truly, I don't understand it. Especially in this case, I don't understand it because it's like, again, even if we're going to think very cynically about this, it's election year, okay? Tennessee, okay, fine. But North Carolina is a swing state. Georgia's a swing state. And I guess you could see the angle of, they're basically hoping that people won't vote because it'll be such a disaster. But, at the same time, you can't necessarily bank on that. And the flip side is the people in this state are absolutely pissed at you if you're Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. What are you doing? Is it sheer incompetence? I don't even understand. But with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Again, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until next time, again, our prayers are with the people of the Southeast. God bless. Have a very great day and peace.